Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, one of the things that you were just talking about in terms of the president's treatment of the issue of immigration, talking to immigrants, talking about dreamers, for example, I wanted to get your take on something that we know is coming, which is the massive refugee crisis that we are about to see in Europe that is caused by the Russian attack on Ukraine. So far, authorities say there's already 2/3 of a million people who have been displaced. We will likely see millions of people displaced. And not just in our country, but around the world, we have seen refugees and immigrants not just scapegoated, but demonized in a way that tends to cross over into all sorts of politics. Now that we know a huge new migration is going to start because of that war, do you have caution or words of advice or lessons learned for your own party, for American politics generally, in terms of how to be smarter about those politics, about the inevitable demonization of those victimized people?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I think the world is watching, and many immigrants and refugees are watching, and how the world treats Ukraine should be, and Ukrainian refugees should be how we are treating all refugees in the United States. I mean, especially when you look at such stark juxtapositions where so many of the factors are in common with Syria, for example. The way the world treated Syrian refugees versus the way that the world is greeting Ukrainian refugees is a very stark contrast. And I think that the way that we are looking at immediate granting of TPS to Ukrainian refugees, which is what we need to be doing, as well as many others, is something that we really need to keep in mind. Because I do believe that, for example, the thousands of people who tried to seek legal refuge on our southern border, how Haitian refugees have been treated by the United States, not just in past administrations, but frankly this one, is not right. And we really need to make sure that when we talk about accepting refugees, that we are meaning it for everybody, no matter where you come from. But I do believe that this also presents a profound opportunity because of the amount of extraordinary support for Ukraine and Ukrainian refugees. If we grant TPS to Ukrainian refugees, this is also an opportunity to finally create a path to citizenship for TPS recipients. A lot of people don't know that TPS recipients, by and large, do not really have a concrete path to citizenship, many have been here for decades. So I think that this is also, while there is a risk, there's also a profound opportunity for us to make the crooked path straight on this issue.